Hello, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome to Face Shift Games and Dungeon Drop. We're gonna have some fun today.
Excellent.
Let's do a couple introductions and a couple announcements, and then we're gonna get into it.
Sounds
So, I'm Jason with Face Shift Games.
Darren, with Face Shift Games.
Fancy that. And we have our guest star.
I'm Scott, and I'm designer working with Phase Shift Games.
Awesome. Designer of what?
Dungeon Drop.
Not only Dungeon Drop, but some other things we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Super excited. So thank you all for joining. I'll be periodically looking this way at the Twitch stream and the Facebook stream just to see if any comments come through. This is our second live stream of the day. First one was a success. Had a couple echo issues technologically, but we dealt with that. So hopefully everything goes swimmingly well. If there are any issues, please don't hesitate. Ping us in chat on Facebook or Twitch. I will periodically check that. Couple quick announcements. First, I want to thank Berserk Games. They are the creators of Tabletop Simulator, which, by the way, we're using right now as we speak. We have another team member, Brad, who is hosting games of Dungeon Drop on Tabletop Simulator. They have created this 3D environment that you see all around us, and you can actually play Dungeon Drop in this 3D environment on Tabletop Simulator anytime, and you can even join our team member and do that now, later, after this live stream. Tomorrow, there's like 5 hours that he's running these games tomorrow. So Berserk Games had created this 3D environment, and we're really, really super proud of it. But even more proud of my brother, who owns Maselli Productions, a professional video production studio, and he has somehow figured out how to get Darren and I inside the dungeon.
It is really awesome.
It is unbelievable to be looking. We're looking at a screen, and we're in the dungeon, but we're here surrounded by all this green, but it's a dungeon. You don't see the green, we see the green. It's amazing. So thank you to Maselli Productions for doing that.
Excellent. Thank you.
And Scott's on the wall. Although when we motion for Scott, we have to motion that.
You got to make this into like some other kind of, maybe
So
like I
Scott's
could
right
be in like
here.
a jail cell or
Oh my god, that would be amazing, actually. That would be amazing. So stick around after the game that we demo here, Dungeon Drop. Stick around if you want to get, we're going to have to give you a link, and we'll paste it into chat. It may or may not be the same as the link that's already in chat from the last live stream. But basically, for following us and watching along on one of our live streams, you get a link and you can get a sweet badge. It's a really cool hexagonal design. It's got our logo in the middle. UK Games Expo has this whole badge hunt process throughout the whole weekend. Anyone that you join them at their live streams or their demos or their games, you get one of their badges, and you can collect them all, and you have a page on your own login on UK Games Expo where you can see all your badges. And then you can share it socially. It's a lot of fun. So we'll give you that link at the end. Want to mention a couple quick things about some show specials. So for this UK Games Expo, Virtually Expo event, we have some specials running. First of all, if you like what you see, Dungeon Drop, you can acquire it by, there are 4 different retailers who are participating in Virtually Expo. And if you go to our booth page on Virtually Expo, when you're logged in looking at the exhibitor hall, if you go to our booth page, we're linking to the 4 different retailers who have copies of Dungeon Drop available. So if you want to grab a copy, that's your chance to do that. Additionally, on our site, phaseshiftgames.com, if you go to our store, you're going to see that we have all of the add-ons for the game available. There are walls, dungeon walls. That's a new product. There's mats that look like the dungeon floor. There's some mini expansions. There's the stringy thing add-on. There's a cloth bag. There's sleeves. There's all those different things. If you're interested in any of those, they're all available on our site. We have a warehouse that we just opened in Germany, and we're shipping inventory to Germany so that we can have a European presence and be able to easily fulfill orders basically worldwide. We're giving a 20% discount on any orders during the weekend, during the show. Simply enter a coupon code VIRTUALLYEXPO, all one word, no space, and you can get 20% off anything you order. So, and one of the things that we have up there is the it's the Prince's Prize limited promo pack. Inside this promo pack, it's small on the screen at the moment, but it is a card. It's a special quest that you can add to your deck of quests, but more importantly, it's a metal dragon cube. So this normally would be a wooden dragon in your game. You can get here it is, the metal dragon cube. I can take it out later and show it to you, but it's amazing. So if you want that, that is available on our site as well for a limited time. I think that's it. There are a bunch of different sessions that we're running. This is the last one for today. Other than the games, we have open gaming on Tabletop Simulator, and we'll open our booth video for general Q&A. So if you want to come and chat with us, happy to do that. So that's it for today. But then for tomorrow, we have like 6 different sessions from beginning to end. We're going to be demoing all different versions of Dungeon Drop. Yep. We have the brand new Trials and Tools mini expansion, which was a design contest that we ran, and this the person that won, he goes by Silver Lightning, and we're going to show you that in action, so you get to see it, how it plays, and this is one of the mini expansions you'll be able to order in our next Kickstarter. We're going to show you our next Kickstarter, which is for Dungeon Drop, which is called Dropped Too Deep. And we're going to show you, we have almost complete artwork for that game at this point. The Kickstarter for that launches October 6th, and you're going to see that in action. So you can see all the great stuff that's in that game. We're going to show you the heroic teamwork mode. So we got all those different versions of Dungeon Drop. And then towards the middle of tomorrow, we also show you Drop Drive, which is the next game that we're going to launch in the same kind of drop style universe that we have. But it's a very different game. So stupidly exciting to just see us about that. Grow to this next, next level. Totally different game, but still that kind of intensity and uniqueness of the drop that we have here.
And it's science fiction, which we're also both
science fiction's
big fans of.
Absolutely. And then we also have a couple panel live streams that we're doing where the 3 of us will get together and just talk about our last Kickstarter. What did we do right? What did we learn? What are we going to do differently come October in our next Kickstarter? General Q&A. So lots of great stuff planned for the weekend. All this stuff is on our page. If you go to the virtual booth page on UK Games Expo site, you can see all these with links and everything else. So that's it for the announcements. Scott, we're about to start a game of Dungeon Drop. You're not here with us in the booth, but you're here with us in spirit and virtually. What would you like to tell folks about what we're about to do? People maybe have never even heard of Dungeon Drop before. What's this all about?
Well, first, just a big thank you for people who are watching along and taking an interest in the game. It's been just awesome to see, as a designer of something, to see it come so far from just an idea and then a small contest winner and then this amazing journey with Phase Shift and Kickstarter and now beyond. So it's always fun to see this in this form. We've done all this amazing hard work, but good fun hard work to get it to this point. And I'm just awesome to have everybody with us. I think you're going to see a game that starts really differently than most games. That's going to be clear, right as soon as the game begins, and you see this scattering of cubes. To me, watching every game unfold, the part of the excitement of seeing any game unfold is that every time that dungeon drops out, it is entirely different than any other game I've played, even though I've played it God knows how many times now. So I'm going to be excited to see this dungeon, which will be different than all the others. And then I think just I'm going to be excited to see the race combos. It's always a little bit different too, each time we play. And to those of you watching along, if you've never seen this game get played, I say I'm excited to see the dungeon drop on the table. If you've never seen it, it will look kind of like a mess at first. But to me, because I've played it so many times, and anybody who starts to play this game, you know how to kind of read this mess. And when I see it drop now, I see rooms, I see good rooms, dangerous rooms, all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to everybody see that along with us.
Great.
Yeah, excellent.
Just a quick technical note. We are hearing that there might still be an echo with your voice, Scott. I don't know if you're hearing that, but just a note for our tech folks. We'll keep going, but hopefully we can work on that. All right, so I think we're ready to drop some dungeon.
Yep. and you're gonna just essentially teach it as we go.
I'm going to teach it.
Even though I have played this game many times, I'm going to be essentially the learner in person here.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we do keep you very much focused on the art side most often, so it'll be coming out from the digital world. But yeah, you've played this a bunch of times. All right, so we're going to start with Dungeon Drop. So the setup of the game is really simple. In fact, it's part of the fun and the magic of the game. First thing is easy, which is we've got 3 decks of cards, which if we can flip to the top-down view, you'll be able to see a little better. So there's 3 decks of cards. There's races, classes, and quests. So we're going to draw a random race for each of us. I am a half-orc, you're a high-elf. We're going to draw a class for each of us. I'm a half-orc mage, you're a high-elf warrior. And then we also draw a quest. Now, these quests are secret. For demo purposes, we're going to keep them secret because we are playing a legitimate game here. I am going to try to maul Darren. And he's going to try. I will try. But I will. Each of us will periodically show the quest, to the camera, and we will not look at the screen and cheat, so that you have a sense of what we're going for. So that is your secret quest. You can look at that. I will share mine with the audience. So this is my secret quest. Basically, at the top, it's showing me what the 3 different gem colors, what score I'm going to get for each of those gems. So each white or clear gem that I get gives me that number of points. Each pink gem and each blue gem. And then underneath that is special scoring or additional bonus scoring. So in my case, if I end the game, I'll get it a little closer to the camera, with that condition.
Oh, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
I'm not saying what it is. Just if I end the game with that condition, I get those bonus points. Okay, so that's my secret quest.
I can show mine too.
Sure, go ahead.
Let's see which way is it.
I'll look for comments in the meantime.
There we go. All right. Ready to go.
And doesn't look like there's any comments, so we'll keep going. Alrighty, so those are our secret quests. They're face down. So I don't know exactly what Darren's going for in this game. Some rooms for me in the dungeon might be more valuable than for Darren, and so on. And that's part of the magic of the game. So now we've drawn a race, we've drawn a class, we have a quest. Mm-hmm. What do? We pick up a pile of cubes, and you're going to see exactly why we call this game Dungeon Drop. You shake up these cubes, and you drop them on the table. And they have just spread out and formed a new, unique dungeon that has never been seen before. So I'm going to have to explain to you what some of the cubes are. There's obviously a lot of colors that you see on the table here. But they're pretty intuitive. And so imagine, first of all, that you're looking, I love the way Scott describes this, you're looking at kind of like a dungeon map, like from top down. And when you imagine a dungeon map, of course you're going to imagine that there's gold and treasure and things like that, but then there's also monsters, and there also needs to be rooms. We have to navigate this dungeon in some way. And so let's talk about rooms first, because that's the most important thing to understand. I'm just going to pick up one of these cubes for a second. So this is a gray pillar cube. So these gray, they kind of have a marbly effect. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. They have a little marbly effect. So imagine that these are like those giant stone columns in a dungeon. And every 3 gray cubes forms a triangular space in the dungeon. So this gray cube to this one would form a triangular room. And now inside that room is that key and that gem and those 2 goblins and so on. So just think in terms of these triangular spaces. That's the key element of how you construct this dungeon. And you're going to see how we make use of that during our turns. Aside from that, you got all these shiny gold in the middle. Those are gold. They're worth 1 point each, unless your quest says otherwise. There's all these green goblins. They're going to do a point of damage to your character. And our characters all have health points listed on the left of the race card. There are these orange cubes, which are keys. And keys are good. They're not really good on their own, but later on from the box, you're going to see treasure chests start to come out in the dungeon, and you need a key to unlock a treasure chest, and so on. Now, I showed you my quest earlier, and then Darren, you showed your quest.
I did.
All the quests indicate at the top how the gems score. There's 3 different kinds of gems. There's blue translucent gems right there. There's some clear ones, and there's some pink ones. Those gems are all scored differently for different players based on your quest. And then again, there might be some special scoring. So that's the rough. There's a couple other cube types. We'll explain them as we go. I don't want to give you too much information to start. I just want to get right into it. Scott, am I missing anything important?
The one thing is, so there are 2 restrictions to making one of these triangles. You cannot form a room or a triangle that has another pillar cube inside it. Otherwise, you could make a giant one that spanned the entire play space. And you also can't kill your character. You can't remove your last health. So all those little goblins that come at you, you can't collect too many of them. So that becomes a restriction to making those rooms.
Great point. For some reason, I do often forget to mention that one. That first one is so important. So let's say there's a pillar here, and a pillar here, and a pillar way over here. Why wouldn't I just say I'll make that room and take everything in the center of the dungeon? Well, for the 2 reasons Scott just mentioned. Number 1, there's other pillars inside. You can't form a room that has a pillar inside the room. So that forces you to look for these smaller triangulations. And then the second thing is I would have taken all those goblins, and that's more health than I can lose. So thank you, Scott, for that. Perfect.
I think also one other thing is these are all the general rules, but what the cards do is they tweak those rules. So even in that thing where you talk about the pillars, I think either one of the races or classes has the ability to allow you to have 1 pillar inside of the room, correct?
Yeah, or use 4 pillars to form
Exactly.
a room instead of just 3. The Hawkman, I think, gives you that ability.
So
yeah.
anytime you have a rule that contradicts the main rule that we just said, the rule on your card prevails.
Absolutely. Great point. All right. So we've set up the game. We have a random race, random class, random quest, drop the dungeon, we go. Now, who goes first? I meant to get these ahead of time. Sorry, I'm standing for 1 second. All right, there are turn order tokens. So a 1 and a 2. We look at the top left corner of our character cards, and there is, in your case, it's a 6. In my case, it's a 10. So the lower number goes first. That's your initiative.
Mm-hmm.
It's and my character goes second. So we hand out those little turn tokens just to keep track of that. If you're playing a 4-player game, it's good because you might go in a weird order around the table. So Darren, you're going to go first.
Yep.
So the turn order is really simple. Here is if we can flip back to the top down, thank you. So here is a player aid card, and it says that the turn order is really simple. Step 1, explore. Step 2, act. And step 3 is loot. So starting with step 1, you explore, and that is simply, in a 2-player game, drawing 6 cubes from the box and dropping them in the dungeon. Usually in a 2-player game, we do 3 and 3 because it's easier to count. You're not supposed to look at these, so it's So go ahead, drop them in. Boom. We got a couple treasure chests there, and
I'm not supposed to look
key.
in the box.
Right, you're not supposed to look at them.
We get a lot of questions about where exactly can you drop cube into the dungeon. But it's kind of an amazing thing about playing the game. You really can't predict where those cubes are going to fall. So it's really hard to direct them in any way. You can drop them really anywhere.
Yeah, what we basically say is there's essentially an outline for the dungeon, right? Like wherever the outermost cubes are. So basically,
pillars, right?
No, for this purpose, just anywhere where there's cubes,
Yep.
you can drop the new cubes.
Oh, that's what you're saying in terms of the
Yeah, it's like, think of it as the footprint of the game. The table surface area that we're playing on has a logical area, and you can drop the cubes anywhere over that area.
Right. And what I was referring to, which is a slightly different issue, but it comes up sometimes with some characters, is what is inside and outside the dungeon. And that is defined by the outermost pillars.
Yeah, the dungeon boundary. Yep.
Right.
You'll see that with my character in a little bit, I think.
So I just explored. I dropped my 6 cubes. Now I get to act, which is I get to activate either my race or my class ability. Now my race ability is I get to redrop all treasure of 1 color in the dungeon.
Oh.
So if I wanted to, I could pick all of, say, the clear gems and redrop them if they're not like where I want them to be. And then I'm a warrior, which it's intimidate, and I can count one monster as a pillar. So that means like I could say this is a pillar or that is a pillar, but only one.
Which gives you many more options to
Exactly.
form rooms than most characters.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my warrior ability. I can only do one. You don't have to do. You could do none or one.
Yes.
I'm going to use the warrior ability, and I'm going to count that as a pillar. Okay. And I'll use the stringy thingy here to define my room so you can kind of see how this works. I am thinking that I'm going to use this pillar, and that pillar. That monster acting as a pillar. Mm-hmm. So inside there, yeah.
Looks like you'll get a goblin, but that's okay.
Yeah, that is okay. Let's see. Am I able to do this? There's a good idea. See? Wait, no.
No, I think you got it.
You got it. Okay. Yep. So you can see that was like right on the line. If you don't have a stringy thingy, you can also like kind of eyeball it.
Yeah.
And then so, bump down a little bit. So if I go boom, 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 I'm going to get this goblin and these two gems.
And that is looting the room. So Darren defined the room with those 3 pillars after using his ability, and then he collects all the loot and goblins, in that case, or monsters, inside that triangular space.
And that goblin will now give me 1 hit point of damage, and if you avert your eyes for a moment, I'm going to show them my quest card again.
Yep.
So...
Of course, I'll have to avert my eyes for 30 seconds because I think there's a 30-second lag.
So by looking at that, you can kind of see maybe what I'm shooting for here.
Got it. And that's it. Turns in this game are really fast. We're narrating and describing.
Right.
So it'll take us a little longer, but holy cow, you can get a game of this in 15
minutes easy.
20 minutes, at most.
Especially if you have 2 people who played it before, boom, boom.
Yep.
All right.
Very good. So it's my turn. So that was your turn 1. You can flip over your turn order marker just to indicate that you're done. Now I go. Explore. I draw 6 cubes from the box, drop them in. I'm going to do 3 and 3 just for simplicity. Drop them. All right, what do we got? Treasure. I don't even remember what my quest is. This is my quest again. All right, so I definitely want those, and that is interesting. So I have to be careful about how I do that. Okay, so so I have a half-orc mage. Half-orc lets me flick a monster. This could be useful for a couple things. There's a troll that just came out. And a troll would do 2 damage, where goblins only do 1. So I might need to be careful. Maybe I want to flick a troll out of a room that I'm trying to go into. Maybe I want to flick a monster towards something I think Darren's going to go for. Or maybe I just want to try to flick a monster so it hits another cube, like the pillar right behind that troll, and I really want to move that pillar. I can't flick the pillar directly, because that's not my ability, but I could flick a troll into a pillar, and something may happen. So that's half-orc.
Cool.
It's cool, right? Mm-hmm. And then the mage ability lets me look at 2 cubes from the box. I can kind of randomly draw and look at 2 cubes from the box, and then whatever colors those are, I can choose one of them and count that as a pillar, kind of like your warrior ability. Mm-hmm. But for me, I'm mage, so it kind of shifts and changes depending on what I draw. Okay, so based on what I want... I'm not seeing a lot of what I want. Now, treasure chests are always good. If you can get keys, the treasure chests, they're basically dice. So at the end of the game, I'm just going to pick this up for a second. It's got, 6 sides, like a normal dice with numbers on each side. And at the end of the game, if you have a key, then you get to roll it, and that would have been 6 gold inside that treasure chest. So I think that was right about there. So they're always good. And there's 3 in close proximity. Now I see a pillar there, or this one may be in the way, but even from there, there's a 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of gold in there. There's a chest, a key, a gem. I like this room, but there's also 1, 2, 3 goblins. So that I have 4 health, and I can also flick a monster. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for that room. I'm going to reduce my threat a little bit by flicking a monster using my half-orc ability. And we gonna flick... This will be easiest. I'm just going to flick that one out of the way. And I now am going to go from there to there to there. And there's a lot of stuff in that room. I like that room. all this. It's just, it's a lot of small stuff. It's gold, but I did get a key and a chest, and that's huge. And this gold is in there. And now I just have to look to see if anything else was on the line. I'm what? Oh, yes, I will. Well,
Yes.
we'll explain what heavy means in a second. All right, so these 2 goblins that I just took, just like Darren's, they cover my health points. So I have 2 health covered of my 4 that I can lose. And the rest is just loot. It's in my stash. And that was my turn. Now it's the end of the round. That was 1 round.
Right.
And 1 round of 3. 3 is it. So we each get 3 turns. The game is that quick. Now, Darren went first last time, and I went second. But what we do is, to go into the second round, we look at who is heaviest, who is holding the most loot. And Darren has 2 treasure, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 treasure. So I
am lighter.
I had a really good room, although a lot of it's really just gold, chintzy stuff, but whatever. So I'm heavier, and because I'm heavier, Darren goes first. And he went first last time anyway, but he really goes first this time, and then I go second.
Really
so
first.
You redistribute the turn order based on weight for the second and the third round.
Yeah.
You're like super.
So that's played out in a way that you guys kept your turn order, but if Darren had chosen to take that room first, he would have been bumped in this second round.
Right.
On second, and Jason would have gone first probably.
All right, so now it's my turn again. Just do a little bit of thinking.
It's like 3 trolls are in the middle there now.
Yes, and I could not stomach that. Let's see what else we got. And I don't want to spend too much time doing too much thinking, but
Yeah, you can use one of your abilities.
yes, we drop all of 1 color in the dungeon.
This thing
Yes,
just
it's
appeared.
gonna talk
Let's
about-
explain this one really
Yes.
quick. So this is a light blue. You can't see it on camera, but there's like glitter inside. It's really pretty. That is a magic shield. The magic shield is basically, if you have it, when you go into a room, you can use it to avoid damage from 1 monster. Now, this doesn't really matter too much when you talk about a goblin that does 1 or even a troll that does 2. But over here, we haven't talked about him yet, is the dragon.
Put this here so you can see it good.
So that's Draglin the Dragon. He does 8 damage, which no hero in this game, at least in the base game, has 8 health. So no one can kill the dragon. No one can go into a room with the dragon. But you can if you have the magic shield. If you have the magic shield, you ignore the damage from the dragon, and you take him, you kill him, and you get 8 points at the end of the game for killing the dragon. So he's worth a ton of points, but you have to kind of plan for it and get the magic shield first on 1 turn, and then in a later turn you can get the dragon. So
Yeah, and this is where something like turn order becomes a big deal.
Right.
Yes.
So if Darren had overloaded himself with his first turn, he wouldn't have first crack at that magic shield now.
So I think I know what I'm going to do. I don't really need to. Well, I guess I'll just, because I can do it anyway, I will drop all treasure of 1 color, so I guess I can go with gold.
Yes, you can.
Boom, boom. I'm going to grab all the gold. Also, it just kind of illustrates something
More
we
there.
can do. And there, too.
and there.
Look at all this gold. Whoa.
All the golds.
All right. I'm going to drop it
But
right
what's
here.
interesting is they all come together now and
Yeah.
drop. So yeah, so now there's a big
Pile.
nexus is the word of the day, of gold in the middle there.
But what I'm still going to do is I'm going to pick this room here. This pillar, this pillar, this pillar.
Okay.
That would give me this and
Oh
the
yeah,
shield,
you get the magic shield, a
and
gem, and the chest. Yep.
chest, and that shield, that chest is in there as well.
It is just on the line, and in this game, if it's just on the line, it is in.
So there we go. So I've made, this is my haul for this particular looting session.
Now the chests are good, but you don't have keys
Any
yet.
keys yet? So next turn, if I don't get any keys, these aren't worth anything.
Yep. All right, now it's my turn too. First, I explore. Two, 3, and some new pillars just appeared over there.
Wow, far
There's not
away,
a lot
too.
of stuff there, but it's interesting. And those.
Woo.
Okie dokie.
All right. What you gonna do now?
Well, I do know what I want to do, and the audience might pick up on why, and I'll kind of re-show my quest in a second. But I I want to... So again, I can flick a monster. I'm probably going to do that. Hoping... Wow, there's not a lot in the rooms. So these shiny purple cubes here, I'm going to be going for one of those, and I have my reasons why. Those are, they're health potions. And so if you have one, you can spend it to heal 3 damage. Now I've taken 2 damage from goblins. I'm going to redraw attention for the audience to my quest. Look at that bottom part of my quest. So that is why I want to change the situation with regard to my damage. So I'll use my mage ability this time, because I do want a different room possibility. So my mage ability says, reveal 2 cubes from the box. So here they are. It's a troll and a blue gem. Now I put them back. Of those 2, troll and blue gem, I can count either one of those types as a pillar this turn. So this gives me different options. What am I gonna do is the question. So,
How much health do you have, Jason?
I have 2 left.
I almost wish I could suggest something to you.
No, don't suggest.
Don't do it.
Not this game, at least. Not this version.
Yep. Okay. So this did give me the exact option I wanted. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go from this pillar down to this pillar and over to this troll, which I am now considering a pillar through my illusion ability. So from there to there to there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's definitely giving me this on the line. It is giving me this pink gem. It is giving me the blue gem and the purple health potion. Mm. And I avoided monsters, and I still got treasure. I actually did not have a way to do that without my ability. I was only going to get a health potion.
Mm-hmm.
So I grab all that loot, and that was my turn 2. It is on to turn 3. Now, who's heavier? You have 2, 4, 6, 7 treasure. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I'm still heavier. Mm-hmm. I still go second. Take your 3rd turn, Darren.
Okay.
And this is his last turn.
Last turn.
So I got to make this one. That's very important. I got to make this one count.
Yep.
All right. So let's see. A couple things I have to think about. In one sense, I want keys so I can open these 2 chests. Otherwise, they're not worth anything. But I also have the magic armor, which means I can get the dragon, and the dragon is worth...
He's worth 8
points. So that right there is something I need to consider as well. And let's see.
You could pick up keys and redrop them near the dragon, hoping to get multiple.
That is true. And that is true. If I need to think about what other... So if I want that dragon...
I'm going to check for comments while Darren is looking to take his turn, just to see if there's anything. We got a lot of people saying hi. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Doesn't look like any actual questions, so we're good there.
You guys are just doing a good job explaining.
Yeah, so... Let me see, where's that stringy thing?
Notice what Darren's doing, by the way. He's getting up and he's maneuvering around the table and he's looking from different angles. To me, this was always something from the beginning of this game that to me was special. You get active. As much as it's such a simple game, and it's just a bunch of cubes, but you actually are getting up and moving around. It's really interesting dynamics in this game.
It's probably good to mention, too. It's what has turned out being a really good family game. You know, even though we designed it a lot to a group of adults, it was great to start deeper in the play testing and start to play with younger players. You know, because it's tactile and it's messy, and you drop things, and you do things up, and moving around. It's resonated with families, I think.
I think I'm going to use a monster as a pillar.
Okay.
It's not smaller. If I use that monster as a pillar, and I have that pillar and that pillar.
Ooh.
So let me see if that works out. I hope I'm not messing up the camera work too much. All right.
No, yeah, you get
I
nice
get a bunch of
stuff
so
there.
this and this come in. This unfortunately comes in,
Yep.
but
That's
I have one to take it. And let's see what I said. That troll. So I get that gold. And
Not the troll.
not the troll. He is a pillar.
He's a pillar.
And I get these two. This
Yeah.
is what I was going for.
So you
That's
did
a
not
good
get
one.
keys, but you got the dragon. So the
that
scoring
was-
is going to be very interesting.
Yes,
Wow,
that-
you're playing a win today, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So this is my last turn really I mean, I do think we're probably pretty close on score
So
right
wait,
now.
I'm trying to remember now. I used this. Do I just put it to the
You
side?
actually re-drop that in the dungeon.
Good. That's right. That's the new.
It is a newer rule. The rule book says to remove it from the game. We eroded that to say redrop it in the dungeon. It allows it to be played more, and it's easier to manage that way. Okay, so it does give me an opportunity to get it, but of course it's my last turn, so I'm not going
And
to...
it's not worth anything.
No, it's not worth points on its own. Okay, I know what I want. I don't see a lot of them. Where are they?
What are you looking for?
My things.
Oh, well, I'm already done. So
Yeah.
that's why I get to snicker while I watch.
Clear gems. I have 1,
I
2,
have-
3,
I
4,
have 1.
5. Why am I missing? There should be 7. It's possible I've got an incomplete set here. Okay, so
These are all done.
He's gonna say as an-
I didn't. Oh no, you're right. I didn't explore yet. That's why. Thank you. All right, so the box is actually going to be empty on the last player's last turn, so I didn't even have to count 6. It's exactly 6. It always works out so that you always empty the box completely. Now that has an interesting side effect. Some characters' abilities don't actually work on the first turn because they require a treasure and you don't have any yet. Other abilities don't work on the last turn, like my mage, which says reveal 2 cubes from the box. There are none, so I don't have that option. And again, that's all balanced so that there's just different dynamics every game. Okay, I drop new stuff. I don't know what I want where. I'm just going to... Boom! Okay, there's some more clear gems. That's what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But they are... Is there a way? Unfortunately, these 3 right here are all outside the dungeon boundary. I don't think I have a real good way to get those. But
just to be clear, the reason why the box empties exactly each game is one of the only changes when you're playing with different numbers of players. Is how many cubes you draw out of the box to explore.
and it always works out exactly right. Okay, well, so folks, I'm not going to get a whole lot of those, but there are some more of those that I can get, so I'm going to kind of go to plan B. I could go in the middle here. There's a lot of gold, but there's also a troll, and I think you all know by now I don't want the troll. I am going to use my health potion.
That helps.
So I redrop that in the dungeon, and I remove up to 3 damage. So these 2 goblins, I just push them off to the side. I actually keep them because they might matter for scoring purposes. Trolls are worth 2 points. Goblins are nothing, but some quests might care about goblins. So I healed, and now I am going to... Do I want to flick a monster? Oh, I might. Actually, that gives me a different option. If I flick that troll out of the way, I can get this room with some gold, but those gems are actually still better. So, no, I'm going to not use... I can't use my mage ability. I don't care at the moment. I'm just going to flick this troll and make sure he's very much out of the way. And boom, 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 I'm going to get those 2 pink gems. All right, that was my last turn. Now we score. So I'm just going to push cubes out of the way for a sec.
Yeah.
So let's reveal our quests.
So here, 2.
So I had the Sage's Stand. I wanted to end the game with 3 or more health. That's why I was concerned about managing my health, even as a half-orc. And if I end the game with 3 or more health, which I did, I score 6 points for that. So I got my bonus, and then I also got some of those gems. And you wanted small monsters.
We got a couple.
Although you also, this bonus only applies if you only collected small monsters.
Right,
You did get a huge monster.
Oh, wait. Oh, maybe I read it wrong. Small monsters score 1 each if you own... I see, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
no, so you do get the 1 point for the 2 small monsters.
That's what I
you
was
just don't
going
get
for.
that bonus for...
Yes,
on
that's what I was
top
going
of it.
for.
Got it. Perfect.
Because I was going for the blue guys, because they're worth 3 each, and I did get a
You got a few of them.
bunch of them.
All right, so let's... I'll just count
Lord
first.
Dragons.
My 2 goblins do nothing for me, so I'll just get rid of them. All right, so clear gems 3. Pinks are 2, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with my blues. Golds are just 1 each for me. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Plus my 6 for the bonus is 22. And then I have a key and a chest, so I get to roll my chest. 22 plus 3 is a nice even 25. And that is my end score. If I got any trolls, they would be worth 2 points each, but that's it. I got 25. Darren?
All right, so I'm going to first go with my gems here. I have
Darren,
a bunch of them.
Whoa!
Yes, I did. So
Darren,
we
might have
have
got you.
2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 15 right there.
Yes.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. These are nothing. So that's
Yep.
a 20,
Oh, you
21,
your chest?
22.
Your goblins, and you got me
8.
with 8 for the dragon.
30.
Nice.
So there we go.
You mauled me. And that was a full game of Dungeon Drop with narration, with training, and it was It was about 40 minutes or so. Actually, after my announcement, it's probably only half an hour, and that was with all that extra talking.
You know, I was just thinking,
Hmm?
this is an awesome game.
It is. Scott, what did we do wrong? Where did our strategies fail us? Me,
it's
especially.
Too much you did wrong to go over here. No, it was great. It was great. I think it was a good example. Both of you guys managed to use your abilities effectively. I think an interesting bit was whether or not, I was one moment I was questioning Darren was when he went for the dragon, because it was really only a net of 2 points because he was going to lose his points for his quest when he picked up the dragon. So I thought that might do him in, but it didn't. The blue gems.
Well,
Yeah.
net of 4, right? Because the dragon's worth 8.
Oh, was it 4?
And the bonus that he lost was 4.
4. All right. Net of 4.
So-
Yeah, but it's not as much. It was deceptive. Not quite.
But it also worked with the other things I scooped up at the same time also.
Yep.
Yeah. So the game plays with 2 to 4 players in this style, and even with 4 players, the balance is there, the speed is still there, some really interesting interdynamics. I actually just 2 hours ago started a live stream as a solo player, so there's a whole solo mode, which actually, it plays using a lot of the same rules, but it's kind of deeper. You actually go level by level through the dungeon, trying to get as deep as possible and collecting as many relics. And that's all part of the base game, is that solo mode as well. What were you going to say, Scott?
I was just going to say, when I demo this game, one of the things people really need to wrap their heads around is that you only have 3 turns. And I think you saw that play out there, just how quick and careful you've got to kind of surgically slice this space up for yourself. Often we'll teach that first round or so, and people assume they're going to have like 10 more turns. But you have to be very, very careful with how you manage your quests and stuff.
In fact, this was actually a really great, I think, demo game. So Darren managed to get the magic shield on either turn 1 or 2. Turn 2, and then I don't know when you got your dragon. Then
the dragon was on turn 3.
Turn 3, okay,
I believe
whatever
so.
it was. But
Yes.
he had to get this earlier than the dragon, and this doesn't even happen in the majority of games. It's below average, and that's intentional. When someone kills the dragon, that's pretty epic, and that's why you got 8 points for it.
Exactly.
But it's harder to do. These magic shields have to come out in the box. They're not out in the base dungeon. They have to come out first. Then you have to be able to collect it on a turn before turn 3. In most cases, there's some characters where you might be able to get it using an ability and then go get the dragon. But it's one of those things that's intentionally. It's not meant to happen every game if someone's going to get the dragon. It's a pretty epic,
as should be, right?
As it should be. So there are 15 different races. You saw 2 of them: Shadowfolk, Isham, which is like an angelic race, gnome, wood elf, hawkman, fairy. So there's tons of different races.
And look how cute they are.
And they're all adorable. And they all pair with one of 10 classes. So there are tons of combinations of races and classes.
Not to mention,
and then there's 10 quests in the box as well. So there's a lot of different variety and replayability just in the base. And of course, we're working on expansion content, and there's mini expansions already out there. So there's a lot going on, a lot of good stuff.
Now, I had teased a little something before too, when I was saying to you that I was compelled to try to give you a little help, but I didn't. But there is a mode that we will talk about in another session.
Tomorrow, yes, the heroic teamwork mode. Good point. So a segue for that. Yeah, you'll learn more about that tomorrow. There's one page dedicated to it in the rules, and we do recommend that you always play with heroic teamwork mode. We did not here today.
For the first.
This was intentionally just the base game. But after you play 1 or 2 games of this, which as you can see and saw, it's very simple. We do recommend that you play with this other mode, which we'll show you tomorrow. Great. As well as everything else, all our expansions that we're working on for October, our Kickstarter, our drop drive. So, okay, to wrap a couple things up, I'm going to give you a link to get your badge through the UK Games Expo. I'll post that into both Twitch chat and Facebook chat, so whichever platform you're on, we'll post that link in there. You can get that. I want to reiterate that tomorrow, today, you can actually come to our Discord server and play Dungeon Drop with Brad on Tabletop Simulator.
Thanks, Brad.
So he's running that for another couple hours, I think. And then he'll be doing that again tomorrow for a block of time. And then tomorrow we do, as we just said, a bunch of demos of some of our more advanced modes and the expansion game and then the other game, Drop Drive. That's all tomorrow. And then tomorrow later on in the evening, British time at least, we have a Kickstarter review where we go back and we look at, we had a very successful Kickstarter, which we're really proud of, but that doesn't mean we did everything right. And so we're taking a really honest look at what did we do right, what did we do wrong, what could we improve on, and how are we going to do things different for the next Kickstarter in October, because there are some things that we're going to do different.
Absolutely.
So,
and the funny thing is sometimes also you might find that there's something that works in a Kickstarter when you do that Kickstarter, but then as time goes on, the dynamic, I mean, things change so fast that it's even possible that something worked in the first Kickstarter may be passé by the time you do it on the next one. So you have to always be looking ahead to what people are responding to.
Yep. And just a hint of things to come. One of those things it's more than passé. There's criticism around the concept of an early bird. And we did our own flavor of an early bird, and we'll explain more of that tomorrow, and then whether or not we will choose to do that again the next time around, we'll really take a good look at that. All right, I'm pasting in the link for the UKGE badge. I just pasted it to Twitch, and here it comes on Facebook. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We hope to see you, more of you tomorrow as well. A lot more great stuff to come. Scott, any parting words?
No, just a big thank you. Everybody is here, and we hope you guys just have a ton of fun. Hopefully you attend some of these events and have fun with them, and just have a ton of fun being together in the virtual expo.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And again, on our booth page, you'll see links to the 4 retailers. If you want to get a copy of Dungeon Drop, that's your way to get it. And then if you're interested in any of the add-ons, the limited promo pack, and we're giving, I mentioned earlier, the walls that are here, the mat, all those are available on our site for purchase, and you can get 20% off any of those purchases by putting in the coupon code Virtually Expo. All one word, no space. And thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Jason and Darren from Phase Shift, and Scott, thank you so much.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.